If you want something to change, then you need to change it. Whether that's practically, mentally, or spiritually, if you're not willing to put in the work to change, then you will never change. It's a principle that Jesus talks a lot about in the Gospels, particularly the Gospel of Luke, where you can read more of what he was saying. A lot of the other Gospels are more focused on what he did, but Luke and John encapsulate more of what he talked about. And in the Gospel of Luke, he talks about how if you want to be his disciple, if you want to have the principles of life that he lived out, that being selflessness, love, affection, power, if you want those things, you need to lay down your life, take up your cross daily, and follow. Essentially, do as he did. Change requires action. And it doesn't require other people's action, it requires your action. It requires my action. If I want to change my life, if I want to improve my circumstances, if I want deeper spirituality, a more vast mental prowess, if I want physical health, I need to change things about the way I live. I need to take responsibility for my actions. Because change is an action that you make. Excuse me while I tamp my tobacco. I'm smoking Mac Baren Navy Flake. Which is delightful if you smoke it slow. See, in order to get a enjoyable smoke out of this tobacco, I had to change my smoking habits. I tend to smoke very fast, which causes this tobacco to become hot and bite. But since I'm making the necessary effort to change, I can change my smoking experience with this particular tobacco. You want a better job. You want a better relationship with your wife. You want better relationships with your friends or your kids. You want to get out of whatever situation you're in. But are you willing to do the work that it takes to get out of it? And if you're not, I would say that you don't really want it. You don't want it more than you want to keep doing what you're doing. What do you want? Think about it. And then think about whether or not it's actually worth it to change your lifestyle for. Another thing Jesus says in the Gospel of Luke is to count the cost before going all in. Because if you're not prepared to do what it takes, you will crash and burn and be made a fool of. He likens it to a builder starting to build a house without having the money to finish the house. He gets about halfway done and then runs out of money and he can't afford to complete it. And everybody else looks around at him and says, "What an idiot. How foolish to start building something you're not able to complete." And it's the same in life. It's the same with spirituality. It's the same with mental toughness. It's the same with physical health. Count the cost before you dive in. Because if you make this promise, if you say, "I'm going to do this," and then don't actually have what it takes to complete it, you'll look like an idiot. You'll be an idiot. So is the change that you want, is it worth it to you? Really, is it? Is it worth it to you? Because if it's not, don't bother starting. But if it is, run the race. Go all in. Because it's all or nothing. And that's just fact of life. And it's definitely a fact of life that not very many people want to accept. You think you can have your cake and eat it too, but you can't. You're going to have to make sacrifices. You're going to have to make changes that are important. Lasting changes. That's all I got for today. Thank you for watching. Hope you have an excellent rest of your day.